The Chronicle of Astariel. To understand who Astariel truly was, and why his name was never meant to be spoken in full, we have to start with one important detail. He was never described as a demon in the traditional sense. In the earliest surviving texts, he is not labeled as evil, nor is he worshipped. Instead, he is referred to as the One Who Answers, a presence that does not arrive on its own, but only appears when invited, and that is what made him dangerous. He did not invade, he accepted permission. The earliest reference to Astariel appears in a lost manuscript fragment historians later titled The Ashen Covenant. Scholars believe it was once part of a much larger collection that was deliberately destroyed. The reason for this destruction becomes clear once the contents are understood. The text does not contain prayers. It offers no protection. There are no pleas for mercy, no promises of salvation. It only outlines rules. Cold, procedural rules, written as if the author fully expected the reader to follow them. According to the fragment, Astariel was not a singular being acting independently. He was bound to a greater force, an origin described only as the source of accord. The name of this force changes depending on the language of the text, but the meaning remains consistent. It represents authority through consent, not domination, not conquest, but agreement. Astariel and others like him could not take souls. They could only receive what was willingly offered, even if the offering was made in fear, grief, or desperation. This limitation defined the way Astariel interacted with humanity. He could not simply appear and claim a victim. He had to be invited, directly or indirectly, and so he learned patience. The text explains that Astariel would first observe. He would linger at the edges of perception, subtle sounds, small movements, the sensation of being watched when alone. These were not meant to terrify immediately. They were meant to provoke doubt, to make the subject question their own mind. The fragment goes on to describe the conditions required for invocation. Blood was involved, but not as nourishment. Blood served as confirmation, a signature, proof that the summoner was willing to cross a boundary and accept the consequences. The ritual itself did not bring Astariel fully into the physical world. Instead, it allowed him to attach himself to a place, a person, or most commonly, an object. This attachment created what the text refers to as an anchor. One such anchor would become infamous decades later, a handmade child's doll assembled from fabric, porcelain, and glass. There was nothing remarkable about its design. No markings, no symbols, nothing overtly ritualistic. What mattered was proximity. At the moment the doll was completed, an invocation was attempted nearby. The ritual failed, but failure did not mean absence. Astariel did not manifest, but he remained, bound, incomplete, and aware. The doll became a beacon, not a vessel of possession, but a point of influence. Through it, Astariel could observe the living, distort perception, and apply pressure without revealing himself. People who encountered the doll reported subtle disturbances at first, objects slightly out of place, soft sounds when no one else was present, a feeling of being accompanied, even in solitude. Over time, these experiences intensified, but always gradually. Astariel chose his targets carefully. Physical weakness was irrelevant. What mattered was isolation, grief, emotional exhaustion. People who felt unseen or unheard were the most vulnerable. He adopted familiar forms, reflected memories, mimicked voices associated with comfort or authority. He did not demand obedience. He offered understanding, and when the moment was right, he offered solutions. Witnesses who claimed to see Astariel's true form described something far removed from the comforting illusions. A tall, distorted silhouette with skin resembling burned stone, limbs elongated beyond natural proportions, fingers too long as if designed to grasp rather than touch. These sightings were rare. Astariel preferred not to reveal himself. Fear was useful, but belief was far more powerful. Eventually, the anchor was discovered and isolated. Contrary to expectation, it was not destroyed. The Ashen Covenant explicitly warned against that. Destroying an anchor does not sever the bond. In some cases, it strengthens it. Instead, the object was confined, surrounded by protective measures, monitored and cleansed regularly. Yet even then, the influence did not vanish entirely. The presence continued to affect its surroundings. Electrical disturbances, emotional unease, a sense that the space itself was altered. More concerning was the way other phenomena seemed drawn to it. The fragments suggested that entities like Astariel act as signals, not only to humans but to other forces existing beyond perception. The final lines of the manuscript offer no resolution. There is no banishment, no victory, only a warning. As long as there exists a person willing to surrender themselves, willingly or unknowingly, the agreement can be renewed. The invitation can be accepted again. Astariel does not wait in darkness. He waits in silence. And silence, given enough time, always invites a response.